Hello, YouTube. I stumbled across a theory just by accident, and I found this on social media. And this is probably the theory that further deepens the rabbit hole for me about sex itself. Now, in my previous video, I talked about how I fell down the rabbit hole of sex, the act of sex in itself, and there's a lot of details in terms of science and even spirituality when it comes to sex. And a lot of people, especially today, they kind of dismiss it as something like an activity just to it's an activity just to stimulate your brain, saying that, oh yes, it feels so good, I want to do some more. But here's the problem, guys. Sex itself, it's much more deeper than doing an activity with another person and stimulate your brain, giving yourself that dopamine rush. It's much, much deeper than that. In my previous video, I keep stating over and over again that sex itself is like a biology way to form a bond with another human being. And assuming that you're heterosexual, in other words, you as a man are attracted to a woman, and you as a woman are attracted to a man, sex itself is an act where you're forming a powerful bond, not just in a mental or emotional state, but also I would dare say in a biology state. And me falling down this rabbit hole, you know, it opens my eyes of why a lot of marriages fail versus how a lot of marriages succeed. And it all correlates back to the activity sex. And when a woman goes around sleeping around with a bunch of dudes, like, can't even stay in a single long term relationship, just a bunch of short term relationship or even a bunch of one night stands, that woman is destroying her own ability to form a powerful bond with another human being in terms of long term. And I sincerely believe that us humans were programmed to be with one person for the long run until, of course, as the marriage vow says, death do us apart. And that being said, when I was looking at my social media account, I stumbled upon this theory, and this theory just further deepened the rabbit hole of sex itself. And guys, I swear to you that the further I fall down the rabbit hole, the more I view sex itself very sacred. Basically, this theory is called the boys' first love theory. And what it is basically when a man has sex with a woman for the very first time, that man forms a powerful bond that's so strong that that man essentially cannot forget the other woman. And in a sense, he still lingers an emotion, like some kind of best way I could put it, he can't let go. Like a part of him cannot let go of the woman that he lost his virginity to, of the woman that was his first time, his first, aka love. And this theory kind of speaks to me because when I broke up with my ex, it was super devastating for me emotionally speaking. And despite that, I haven't seen my ex for years. I still think about her once in a while. But it's funny when you chat with married men who had other women before the current wife, they admit to me that sometimes they think about their exes. I'll never forget those conversations, but I feel like this theory is very true. And like I said, guys, the more I fell down the rabbit hole of sex itself, the more I view sex very sacred, a very sacred act that should not be toyed, should not be, um, how do I say this? It shouldn't be taken lightly, best way I could put it. It should be taken more serious and view the act itself sacred. And now I truly understand why a lot of religion, they view marriage and sex itself very sacred. It's a sacred bond, it's a sacred act. And now I understand why a lot of these spiritual religion, they view it as sacred because you're forming a bond, not just an emotional level, but on a biological level. And when I say biology, I mean like literally biology, guys. Think about the act of sex itself. When you're having sex with someone, you're essentially exchanging fluid. I know that sounds nasty, but think about it for a moment. You're exchanging fluid, and of course, the possibility of contracting STDs. That's how STDs are contracted. But you're exchanging fluid for the sake of your body and your brain to essentially program itself that, oh, this person is going to be my partner, and this person I'm going to care about for essentially the rest of my life, potentially speaking. And I hope that I could stay with this person as long as I can. And if you guys think about it, us humans, we're not the only creatures on this planet that does this. Many, many other creatures on this planet are programmed that way to pair bond for a lifetime. My favorite example, birds. Look at birds, look at eagles, falcons, etc., etc. The male and the female, they literally stay together till death do them apart. They literally, like, they don't just mate, make some eggs, and, go away. They literally stay together. Even when the babies hatch, the father and the mother still stay around together just to make sure their younglings, stay alive and grow up very well. And same thing with other creatures such as lions, such as dogs, you name it. Now, a lot of people will probably debate against me or probably go against this argument and say that no, other creatures they tend to, casually mate with each other and then they just go off with another partner. But in my opinion, guys, that's straight up bullshit because think about it, guys. When two when two creatures are together and make babies, and if they're programmed to sincerely care about their younglings' survival, then the best way they do it is both of them stick around for their younglings, stick around for together, because remember when they're in the pack, their survival chances increase dramatically, and essentially they form a nuclear family in the wildlife. They form a nuclear family, and the children they are able to successfully grow up properly and live on their own. And of course, the cycle continues. The younglings, once they grow up, they go out, find another partner, and repeat the cycle. Have babies with whatever partner they have, and make sure those babies grow up very well. Wolves, gorillas, monkeys, even, well, my favorite example, birds, they all do that. Birds, they pair bond for life, in case you guys didn't know that. And me, I'm falling deeper in this rabbit hole that sex itself is very sacred. I mean, I don't know why we have this casual dating culture. All casual dating culture did is destroy our ability to pair bond. And it's funny when you guys think about it. Back in the day, back when our great grandparents were alive, our culture was all about the nuclear family. You get with someone, date, get married, have kids, stay together for what, 50 plus years, then essentially see your kids, grandkids, and you leave this planet peacefully. Nowadays, what do I see? I see people not getting married, getting divorces, people fucking sleeping around like it's like they're the porn star, but nobody's paying them. So it's basically free prostitution. It's for the top guys. Meanwhile, we get guys friend zoned for 10 to 15 years. It's a mess, guys. And what's even sadder is when I see the statistics on the news talking about how in the near future over 45% of women in the western countries they're destined to be single and they're destined to be single for life. Meanwhile, I saw another article that says 1 in 3 men are most likely to be single and they're most likely to be stay single for the rest of their life. When I see articles like that, I know something is wrong, and the more I fell down the rabbit hole of sex itself, the more I realized that this casual dating culture that we have is also wrong. But at the same time, we're being influenced by something higher than us, something, you know, that's beyond our control. And it's kind of sad that we're waking up, but we realize it's kind of too late. So we just need to go through the emotion and try our best to, fight the system, fight whatever that's making us miserable. Because if we're miserable, then guess what? We basically fail. We fail ourselves. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that I discovering stuff like this because it just further deepens my belief and how I view things about the world. So, guys, boy first love theory. I feel like it's something that you should look up to. And remember what I said, guys. Uh, view sex itself a little more serious. View it as something sacred because you know it's an act of creating a powerful bond with another human being. In my next video, I'm gonna talk about more about a person that I used to know that she utterly destroyed herself, and in my opinion, it's entirely her fault. But I know for a fact that she will dodge accountability just to quote unquote make herself feel better. And in my opinion, that's kind of sad because that's essentially the norm of what women are doing these days, especially modern women. Well, guys, I think I rant enough, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.